Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to robmotivejt. Today, we're going to be installing some side steps. The wife had to have side steps on the new Jeep Gladiator. This is a 2025 Jeep Gladiator Sport. What I've got here, these came from Mopar. I find that Mopar has the best, of course. Here's the part number, if anybody's interested. And we're going to unbox it real quick, and then I'm going to pull off the rails, the rock sliders, if you will, which I prefer, and we're going to put these on. Okay, you can see here, nice, big, wide steps. Perfect for the wife, I guess. Looks like they kind of, I don't know, go through some kind of channel on the other side. It's kind of hard to see. We do get instructions, and we do get some hardware here. Not a whole lot of hardware, so that's a good thing. Are they labeled? Yes. This has left hand, so this will be the driver's side. And this should say right hand. Let's take a look. And it does, right hand. So this is the one we're going to start with, because we're going to start with the driver's side first. So let's crawl under and see how to remove the rock rails. Okay, we're underneath the Jeep, and as you can see, there are a bunch of fasteners. You've got ones that go up right here, and then you've got these little, I call them locators on the sides, that go all the way down the rail. So there are a bunch of them. Looks like 10 millimeter on one. I'm not sure what these smaller ones here are, but we're going to find out. I'm going to remove all of those, probably set a couple buckets under here or something to hold this up. I don't think it's very heavy, but I don't want it to come crashing down either. And actually, these screws that go through from the outside here will probably hold it up anyway. So I'm going to go ahead, remove all these, and then we'll grab the side steps. We've got all the screws and stuff off. This is just for one side. You can see the little bolts for the little side screws, and then the bigger bolts for the top screws. Tools wise, 13 millimeter for the bigger screws and 10 millimeter for the smaller. And I will say it really helps to have a right angle ratchet, a power ratchet to do these side screws. And of course, just a regular drill or ratchet to take the longer ones down, or the bigger ones. Now, we should be able to just pull this thing off. And I do like how it just kind of sits in there, which means I should have the same thing with the running boards I'm going to put on. Just would make the install a lot easier. But let's see if it just comes right off. And it does. Good thing to have a couple of buckets here too. These things are heavier than the running boards are. So having the buckets here to kind of stabilize them when you take them off really, really helps. So let's move these out of the way. The steps are definitely lighter. Now I'm just going to sit them here on the buckets, and then I'll crawl underneath there to fit them back in the slots, or the holes, if you will. And again, you'll see if you do this, well, you can actually see now, these screws fit through these holes all the way down, and then bolt through or connect through on the other side with the provided nuts. And then they even provide new hardware for the top pieces. So you should be able to just slide these closer, stick them through the holes, and then bolt everything back up. Should be pretty easy. Let me go ahead and do that. Then I'll come back on and show you when the side is finished. Okay, got it all done. This is a very, very simple mod. I have a spider up there or something. Very easy to do. A couple of tools, a little bit of time. You probably could do the whole truck in 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how quick you work, I suppose. Let's take a look. You guys can see what they look like on the truck. Again, I do prefer the rock rails, but you got to do what you got to do for the wife, right? So we've got the steps on. It's not a horrible look for the truck. I mean, they're not really going to be too functional for me. I kind of step over them. So we'll see what she thinks once she has them for a while, but I'm here to tell you they're here to stay. That's the passenger side. And there is the driver's side. Of course, it's exactly the same installation. Now, one thing I do want to point out, it's kind of interesting to me, the rock rails are all metal. Everything on them is metal. The brackets down here are metal, and they're pretty substantial. They're pretty heavy. I'll bet you they weigh pushing maybe 50 pounds, 40 to 50 pounds a piece, I would guess. The side steps, on the other hand, are a heck of a lot lighter. They don't really need to be that heavy. They're not rock rails. But the bracketry here, which connects to the step itself, it's already assembled when you get it, is plastic. It is not metal. Probably part of the reason that it's quite a bit lighter, I suppose. Not really a big fan of that. I prefer it being metal, but nonetheless, I guess that's the OEM part, and I haven't heard of any failures with them or anything, so I think it's going to be okay. We shall see going forward, I suppose. As far as the cost of these things, I did get them at the dealer. I think they were having a little bit of a sale. Price was, I think it was $752 plus tax. There is no shipping. Yeah, it was $752 plus tax. Now, let me tell you, you may find them cheaper out there, but make sure you pay attention to the shipping. Every vendor I looked at, even some of them in the $600 range, had about $150 to $200 and even $300 for shipping. So make sure you check that before you click that buy button, right? Because you're going to end up spending more money than if you just paid the $800 and I think it was $40 or $41 with tax at the dealership. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you like these? Do you have these? Or do you prefer the rock rails? I'd just be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.